Yes, loud and clear. Strength 5,
Yeah,
as we
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. So I was saying, I mean, this is unprecedented what we're
Right.
seeing, in the world today, and it's unfortunate, but I guess this is the only way that we can probably fight this virus. And for me, it was always about routine. So daily routine starts at 5 a.m. Now it starts
Wow.
at 6 a.m. So it's
Okay.
slightly different. But otherwise, if you don't stick to routines, I think it becomes very, very tough to manage a lockdown like this. So for me, it was all about routines, even during my playing days, whether it was playing the IPL or playing Test cricket or one-day cricket. It was all about waking at a certain time and then having the body clock, sort of structured in that fashion. Obviously, IPL, takes your body clock slightly out of comfort zone for me at
Right.
least. But otherwise, it's been routine. So helping my wife with some chores at home now. She's very spiritual and she does her morning puja, and so I just assist her with helping her with some of the stuff that she needs. Otherwise, just spending time at home, and I'm not someone who goes out regularly, even on an off day in a normal circumstance. So for me,
Right.
this is not really tough. Yes, it is. It is tough. It's not normal, but then for me, it's quite manageable.
So routine is something that you've stuck to throughout your playing career, and it's something that's helped you in good stead even now, because I think when you structure your day well,
Yeah.
you're able to get a grip on it. And how are
Yeah,
you managing
absolutely.
fitness?
No, fortunately, I have a gym at home in my
Okay.
backyard. I have some weights. So initially during the lockdown, I made up my mind to start getting fitter because it was not easy for me to manage my fitness. And I, sort of took it slightly lightly because I knew that anyway I would be a part of Kings 11 Punjab with the team for
Sure.
the IPL, and then I would certainly train with the boys. But
Right.
unfortunately, now that the IPL has been pushed because of this virus, I started training. So initially, for the first couple of weeks, I sort of did 2 sessions, which was really good. Morning, do some cardio, and then again go back in the afternoon, do some
Strength.
strength. But I think I've come back to now only 1 session because it's quite tough to motivate yourself. Try and get rid of the session in the morning. This morning I haven't had a chance to go, so I've planned for a session later in the evening.
So I did mine today, as my watch is proof. So
Yeah,
I just feel that if I don't get it done, okay, I mean it's giving me a full summary right now. I
yeah,
feel if I don't get it done first thing in the morning, then uh, I don't know what the day will throw at me, and I don't know if I'll be able to cope. A
yeah,
and B, as we were chatting yesterday, I think for those of us who pursue fitness, the discipline of going at it when you don't want to, and
yeah,
that sense of achievement, no matter how big or small the workout is, that you've overcome yourself, is
yeah.
a great is a great is a great motivator. And you've been doing it literally all your life.
Yeah, all my life, yes, and now my wife is my motivation because she's like extremely regular. I sometimes tell her just don't just take a break for a day at least, and she goes in the morning and she does 2 sessions every day. So she's very very focused and disciplined in that regard. So for me, she pushes me, or when she goes, I feel a bit guilty. So I would
So
rather go
you
and spend some time. Yeah. Yeah. So, but the watch keeps me going as well. So I have the same Apple Watch with me, and I sort of manage and keep my fitness routines going, and try and see if all the 3 circles
are
get
close,
completed.
yes.
Yeah, closed at least by 6 in the evening or 6:30 in the evening. I don't want to push it to beyond that.
Really? So they close by 6 o'clock?
Yeah, by 7,
All?
yeah, because I mean, most of it, yes, shuts by around that time. Except I think the stand per every hour you need to stand a certain amount of time. I
Sure,
think
sure.
that continues till I switch off. But otherwise, yes, all rings. I try and close all the
That's
rings.
that's incredible. So I have a small request to all those folks who are currently watching us live. I'm going to turn comments off so you can see Anil, because right now the comments are sort of flowing over your face, and we'll turn them back on so we can we can take questions from the audience. So
Yeah,
please forgive me, because I will be turning off comments for a short while. So you're a tech entrepreneur, Anil, and that's a side of you that a lot of folks may not know. And that also you're an engineer. What engineering did you study?
Mechanical. I did my mechanical engineering from RV College in Bangalore, and this was while I was playing. So I finished my graduation. While I was finishing, I had already played for India. So it was quite challenging, especially the third and the final year for me was very challenging because I was already playing for the country and traveling and continuously playing professional cricket. Fortunately, during my exam times, the cricket was not so much as it is now. So there was a bit of a break between April to June. And since I was writing an annual exam, my exams usually would fall during that period, and I would be, I was able to complete my engineering. So I was fortunate to complete my engineering. And yeah.
Does that make you the most, well, I don't want to use the word educated and try to be sort of not polite to anybody else, but are you the most educationally qualified cricketer right now?
I think I know there have been a few engineers.
Really?
Currently, Ashwin is an engineer. Then Javagal Srinath. Then Chris Srikanth is an engineer too, and before him, yes, Prasanna. So there are quite a few engineers.
The South has thrown up engineers who are also cricketers.
more often than not. I think education is extremely important. I think to bring about a balance in success and failure, because when you're playing professional sport, you often have more failures than success. So you need to handle how you learn from your failures and how you try and understand success and make sure that you keep repeating those. And I think it brings about a balance. And in India, it's cricketers have sort of looked up to, and so it's a huge responsibility for all of us. So to manage, I think all of that, I think education is extremely important. So I would any young kid who comes to me and says, "Look, I want to take up cricket." Or any sport for that matter, I would urge him to continue his studies, because generally you tend to choose one and ignore the other. But I think if you have both running together, then you have a choice. So for me, cricket was always plan B. Plan A was engineering. Yeah, plan A was engineering.
Incredible. That's an incredible insight.
I was lucky. I was lucky that plan B overtook plan A while I was still studying. So that made me believe that I could go on and play for the country for a long time. So then, engineering sort of took a back seat. And now, after 25, 26 years of completing my engineering, 30 years, in fact, I've started to take up an entrepreneurship and try and bring about a technology in sport. For the last 10 years, I've been running a company called Tenwick. My partner and I, he was a former table tennis champion, Vasant Bharadwaj. So both of us run this company called Tenwick, and we train a lot of sportsmen, not just cricket, but all sports. So we are doing that throughout India. Yes, of course, these are challenging times. In the last couple of months, since the shutdown, and probably we don't know the future as well. It's quite uncertain. So yes, we are trying to understand how we can manage that part of the business, because that business is obviously requires face-to-face interaction and coaching on the field. So that's a challenge. And the other one, which I started a year and a half ago, was a Spectacom, which was in technology. We have sensor stickers on the bat, and which gives you live, data points on various parameters of a batsman. I think it's really sort of, in the forefront of looking at bringing the fan closer to the game. We were pretty close. Yeah, we were, very close to engaging with franchisees in the IPL, but unfortunately now We'll have to
This big.
just wait till cricket starts.
But that would be very interesting. Would it be a lot like the data that the telemetric data that the computer gives out for a racing car? Because you can see the entire data on the screen when you watch, say, Formula E, which is now the forefront of racing, electric racing, or whether Formula One. The entire telemetric data back in the control room between the engineer, the manager, is available for them to see. So is that something like that that's going to happen in terms of how the ball makes contact with the bat, and in terms of how what speed it connects with, and what is the trajectory, hyperbola?
So you get real-time data on bat speed, your power of the shot, and the angle at which it was hit, and how close was it to the sweet spot. These parameters are extremely important, not just for the batsman, not just for the coach, but also for the fan. I think it's important that we keep hearing about experts talking about it was sweetly timed, and his bat speed is really quick. And he has quick hands and all of that. But then in numbers, we haven't really managed to see what those numbers are, what they actually mean. So we are trying to bring science to art and try and see if that catches on. And
that's incredible.
Since it's live, I'm sure it'll be really interesting, because it'll bring about a new parameter in trying to sort of profile batsmen.
And will we see like sorry to interrupt, but when we watch cricket live, will we see like a little window in the corner giving out all that data like for racing?
Yes. That's the whole purpose. That's the idea of doing this, and then try and profile batsmen. So at the end of a tournament, you will get to know what was the maximum bat speed of this particular batsman, what was the average bat speed over a period of over the entire tournament, and what was his timing, and what was the power. So you can compare, you'll get a leaderboard, and it'll be quite fun to also compare the fans to their heroes. So it'll be interesting. So we are looking to bring that out very soon in the market, and hopefully, once everything becomes normal, then I think we'll be ready to go to market.
That's incredible. I have a supplementary question, because I'm really excited about what you just shared. And this will be the last one, because I know there's so much more to talk about. Like when you watch tennis, you get real-time data in terms of what the speed of the serve was. How are they doing that? I mean, was it similar kind of data that they were?
No, they have radar. They have radars, which so even in cricket today,
we do use radar.
Yeah, we do use radar. So the speed gun is used for the bowling speeds. So you get to know the ball speed, especially of a fast bowler, at what speed he is bowling. So that's already available. But this is actually on the equipment. It's a very small sticker, very lightweight. The batsman won't even know that it's there on the bat. That's how light it is, and it'll be interesting to see how it develops, because it's just the start of putting something on an equipment, and I think the future is something we can't really imagine.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm truly fascinated to learn about this. I want to just quickly recap for a little while to tell people, those of you who just joined us, I'm in conversation with Anil Kumble, the cricketer, the entrepreneur, the fantastic photographer. For those of you who haven't yet gone and seen his Instagram page, it is a treat. We're talking to him about how he's handling the lockdown, and what he told us in the beginning was that he is a creature of routine, a creature of habit, and he has continued his routine to remain focused during the day, even during the lockdown. And while of course a lot of your entrepreneurial work is now facing real-time challenges, but I'm sure the tech business must be currently still working and being able to be managed from home. Are you able to do something from work?
Yes, some of it, yes. I mean, both even from a 10-week perspective and also the other business, yes, there are certain things that you can do, but you would want to reach out and then have a normal circumstance. Yes, there are times when the back-end work, especially development of software, the app, all of that can happen sitting at home. But some of it you need to have a face-to-face interaction, and that's something that hopefully we'll be able to manage very soon. But otherwise, I'm not complaining. I think we are one of those privileged ones who've we have the privilege of staying home and then still managing to have some sort of a routine. But it's quite challenging for a lot of people. So
Yes.
it's in these times, whatever support that we can provide, I'm trying to do that in my own way. But I think it's something that is unprecedented, and we hope that this will also pass. In good times, we'll see again.
I'm going to come back to that as we sign off, Anil. But I had another question for you. Now, a lot of folks who are here, and as we spoke about this yesterday as well, a lot of folks who are here, for them, this is an imposition, being able to manage productivity, to manage the fact that there's household chores to be done, and there's work. A lot of folks are continuing to work from home. Surprisingly, even in the manufacturing sector, I mean, I have a lot of friends who work in manufacturing sectors, particularly in marketing. They are in overdrive right now. But what everybody's struggling with, Anil, is that they have lived a career life of 9 to 5 or 7 to 7, depending on what line of work they're in. And the division between work and non-work activities at home is a challenge. And some of them have come up with some very interesting ideas in terms of how they can keep distractions at bay, or they structure their day. So routine is a very important part of that exercise. But would you have any tips that you could share in terms of how, when you are, let's say, an hour or 2 or 3 a day, that you are actually concentrating on managing your ventures and work that you may need to be doing, emails that you may have to answer? Are there any apps that you use? Are there some tools? Are there some best practices? Like Rahman said, he puts his phone off when he's at work.
Yeah.
And nothing disturbs him. And he's got another interesting hack. He puts a candle on. So there's a sense of, I've entered the work zone. So do you have some hacks like that?
No, I mean, I have a study at home where I sit down and do all my work.
Designated work environment.
Yeah, it's more like a work environment. So where I'm sitting now currently is probably a work environment. I mean, this is where I come down and sit and do, whether it is even processing my old photographs, trying to redo them again, learning new stuff. Or for photography, or sending emails, and then answering calls and having these conference calls. All of that happens. So ideally, I think if you can just take whatever time that is required and step away from and create your own space within the house. And when you're there, you know that okay, that's work. And then when you're out of that, then it's back to normal. I think it's important to do that. And then don't worry. I mean, if you don't work for 2 months and still are able to maintain, certain things that need to be maintained, nothing's going to fall apart. It's I think the nature is telling us that look, back off. And we have had. I mean, Bangalore has had April showers after I don't know how many years. Last night was a heavy thunderstorm. This morning it kept continuously raining till about 10 o'clock in the morning. We haven't had April showers. I can't remember. I think when I was a child, I knew that April would be always raining on and off. You would get a summer showers, but it's only been this year that we've had probably 6 or 7 or maybe more. So nothing's going to fall apart. So you just need to relax, not worry about what the future will hold. Yes, these are it's tough when you start thinking about that. Then it starts affecting you. So I think it's important to just enjoy the moment, spend time with the family, and I can't remember when I was locked down like this. Although whenever I'm in Bangalore, I don't really go out too much. I spend a lot of time with the family. So for me, this is like any normal day. Other than, of course, doing your work, going out and doing work, but otherwise at home, it's pretty normal. So just try and spend on what you can, what you haven't been able to do for a long, long time. I mean, for me, I haven't been able to learn certain photography tips that I can learn from. So today you have just go onto the web and get developmental tools, or even a Lightroom a tutorial I can take up, learn some of the things that I did not know, try them on some photographs. So for example, Lightroom Classic, which is the desktop version. So I have a Mac Pro, which I use to all my photographs. Then you have a DxO. It's a nice plugin, which gives you a lot more filters. I mean, there's a Nik collection, which is a part of the DxO collection. It gives you a lot of filters that you can use, especially for landscape photography. Today, my phone is good enough to take some wonderful landscape pictures.
Incredible pictures on your Instagram. I mean, that's, if somebody
so
didn't know that.
Today is my wildlife posting day. I mean, Wildlife Wednesday. So
Yes,
as soon as
incredible pictures.
So I've been lucky. I mean, I've always carried a camera right from the time that I started playing cricket. So I brought out a book called Wide Angle, which is from my playing days. So it has photographs of my team, my players, and my tours while I was playing. The candid moments that you don't get to see, what happens between matches.
Right.
Generally, as you're only following the team when they actually step onto the ground, and
Sure.
you don't know what happens before a match or after, in terms of how we spend our time. Even when we go out as a team together, some of those photographs are captured. So I'll try and put those as well as as
Yes,
a throwback,
I saw some,
as a
yes.
throwback. So I'll do that in the near future. But wildlife has always been something very close to my heart. Wildlife photography. I was involved with the government of Karnataka as the vice chairman of the state board for wildlife, and so I carry my camera and try and do at least a few trips in a year to any of the parks and try and take pictures. So that's something that I thoroughly enjoy, and that's my sort of stress buster. I think it's important to have some sort of another habit, or something that
Hobby.
you want to, hobby that you want to pursue and be good at. I try and excel. The competitive spirit comes in, and it's something that I want to do, and my son loves it as well. He likes to take pictures, and that's one common thing between us. So it's wonderful to have. We've gone out on a couple of occasions, just the two of us, or into jungles and try and take pictures. So that's a wonderful connect as well, a father-son connect. So it's nice to be in nature, and the entire family loves wildlife, and so it's nice to have that as well. So this is something that I'm pursuing over the last 1.5 months, trying to learn a few more things.
Learn more.
I
had a question for you. There's a picture of a tiger in your feed, and is that been shot when you're on a jeep? Because I mean, literally, he's walking behind you. And what lens were you using, and what camera were you using?
No, I now come into a Sony, so I use a Sony camera. I have an A9, which is the Alpha new range. I have a 100-400 lens, and I also have a 400 2.8 lens.
It's like,
with a couple of it's those big teleconverters. Yeah, massive. Yes. So those ones. So I don't know which
needs
kind of picture.
a support of its own, because it's so heavy.
Yeah. So yes. So you try and use a bean bag, because having a tripod in a jeep with a couple of other people, it's impossible. Try and have a monopod, but I feel comfortable with a bean bag, or supported with my elbow, and so the gym work is only for that, not for anything else. So all the weight training is to make sure that I hold these lenses.
You can carry the bean bag.
And carry these lenses, and then keep my hand steady when I'm taking pictures. But the current generation of cameras allows you to actually, it's very, very good. You have fast shutter speeds, and
they're very forgiving in terms of stabilizing as well. They have stabilizing
absolutely
effects.
And even light, even low light conditions, you can still get a decent picture, really good picture that you can certainly use. So yes, I mean, today's technology, it's only improving, and the mirrorless cameras are fantastic. I mean, Sony, over the last 1 year that I've been using. Before that, I used to use a Canon, and those are good as well. But Sony over the last 1 year has been really amazing.
I think the low light has been pretty path breaking with the Alpha series. I mean,
Yes.
what you can capture in low light has changed the game as far as photography and videography is concerned with Sony cameras. I think that's pretty something.
And I mean, even on the phone, even the iPhone, for that matter, even in pretty low light conditions, you have those low shutter speeds that you can use, and
3 seconds and 4 seconds,
3 second ones, which are pretty good, to post on social media. So in that sense, sometimes for landscape photography, the phone is a better option than these big lenses.
That's interesting. I actually asked 15 minutes of your time and we're touching 30. So I want to quickly begin to wrap this up. And before I get back to comments and, taking questions, I wanted to ask you, you told me something about an app yesterday called Notability, which allows you to take notes. Could you quickly walk me through how that works?
Yeah, so I use an iPad Pro. I like writing, especially in meetings or, when some things come into my head. I prefer writing it down rather than typing. And even if I have to send out an email or a letter, which is an important one, I tend to write first because the thoughts flow better when I write. And using these usual pencil and notepads became a bit of an issue because I had to carry 3 notebooks, one for sport, one for ICC, cricket committee, and one for when I was in the administration for KSCA. So it became a bit of a challenge. So I moved into an iPad Pro where you have the pencil, the Apple Pencil. I found the Notability app really useful because I could get the feel of my handwriting on the pad better than the Apple Note, which you already have. The native app. So I found this much better, and the flow and you could use different, obviously, colors and I find that very useful. So I use the Notability and also the iPad, the pad for my meetings and write down all of that. And the other thing that I use extensively is the cloud, the iCloud, which obviously helps me push all my photographs
across devices.
Devices. So anytime, if I have to send out any picture, I have it on my phone, or I always have it with me in my hand. So that's the other advantage.
Well, while in meetings and stuff, and then they could be imported and exported very seamlessly. So I'm going to actually check this app out right after this session.
Yeah, sure.
I'm turning comments back on. So that we can hear what folks have to say. Sorry again, apologies for having turned the comments off. Most, of course, are in line with, I'm going to quickly run through them. There's a lot of them. But essentially, it's all about how, people are really huge fans of yours. Why don't you enter politics? So that's not a question I'm going to expect Anil to answer here. Your views and ideas for upcoming cricketers. I think the one thing that Anil said that really made sense, and I'm going to hand this over to him in a second, is do not compromise in your studies. And it's really important to make sure you study along with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to study really well because I think that will help you in the long run. There's no guarantees in sport. Sometimes injuries can be, threatening your career. So there are no guarantees in sport. Very few make it. So it's important to have studies as your foundation. And then, yes, of course, pursue your dream. Always have fun. I think don't put too much pressure on performance. It will happen on its own. The moment you start thinking about, I have to win this match, I have to perform, otherwise I'm going to get dropped. The moment you start putting pressure, those are not in your control. What is in your control as a sportsman is to just go out there and showcase your skills, whether you're a bowler or a batsman, or you're, even if you have to just sit and watch as a 12th man, then the mind starts working against you, saying, look, you're itching to go, you want the opportunity. And when the opportunity comes, you're too tense and you're too stressed and you're putting too much pressure on yourself. So it's important to just relax, just not to worry about the outcomes of what may happen. Just go out there, have fun. It's a sport after all, and you will eventually be successful. Like I mentioned, people forget all the failures that you've had. You tend to have more failures than success. So as long as you learn from that and then take success in your stride, like how you take failure in your stride, I think that's the key message that I would like to give all these youngsters.
I think that's a really profound thing. I think to remember that we all forget. In fact, the people don't see the failures that have actually helped you reach the success that you've scaled. And I think it's really important to learn from those failures. In fact, some very sad news coming in, Anil. A lot of comments here telling us that the actor Irfan Khan has passed away. And I've not been able to verify this because I have to get out of here to see this, but it's terrible. I mean, we know he'd been unwell for a very. It's another poignant reminder that all we have is today. And it's what you were saying a short while ago.
Yeah, it's very, very sorry. I just watched his recent film, I think English, the new
English,
one.
Yeah, the English medium.
English medium, I think, English medium, yeah. So, yeah, very sorry to hear that. I know that he was undergoing some illness, cancer. He was getting treated, but it's unfortunate. I saw yesterday that he was in the ICU, and I was hoping that he'll get through, but it's really unfortunate.
Well, that's a solemn note for us to actually end this on. And I think I'm going to leave you with your one last message, and maybe to remind us all that we should really be grateful for every moment that we have today, especially those of us who are privileged enough to be locked down in our homes with our families, that we need to be grateful for every single moment that God's given us with our families. Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We are certainly privileged, and whatever support, whatever we can to make sure that people around us can also be comfortable in these times. I think we should all reach out. And, my only humble request to everyone is the only way that we can fight this virus is to make sure that we are disciplined and patient and persevere. So that's the only way that we will be able to fight this and listen to whatever instructions that the government gives us and follow it dutifully and in a very disciplined way. I think if we can do that, I think we'll all be able to fight this virus. But my hat's off to all those warriors out there. I mean, it's not easy. The doctors, the nurses, the sanitary workers, the government employees, the cops, the police have done a great job. And a lot of people out there who are all volunteering to support people out there and to make sure that we are safe. To hats off to them, and let's all stay in this together, because we have to fight this together. So I only hope that in the near future we'll all be able to lead. Yes, things will change. I think what we call as normal will change, but I'm sure we'll all come out of this better.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful opportunity to have a conversation with you. And I just wish that this news has come and actually shaken me up a lot. It's somebody I looked up a lot, and it's deeply disturbing. But I think it's a reminder that we really need to appreciate all our loved ones every single day.
Yeah. Thank you, Gul, and all the best to you, and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Anil. Good day. Thank you. Bye-bye. So guys, that was Anil Kumble.